Hey Cancer, welcome to your 12-month, I was going to say 12-year forecast. 12-month forecast for 2022. This is going to be for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. If you want to check out your Venus, why not? You know, we'll set the intention for Cancer, Venus as well. Although I'm not focusing primarily on love and romance, it may come up. But if you're new to my channel, I just like to talk about whatever Spirit wants to talk about, whatever that might be. So we're going to see what's coming up here for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising, and Venus for the year 2022. We're going to pull one card for each month and see what we have coming up. So let's see here, January 2022 for Cancer, please. January, February 2022, March 2022, April 2022. We'll do them four at a time. Let's go ahead and start looking. For January, we have the Hierophant. Well, for me in my readings, when the major arcana cards come up, this is a significant chapter in your life when we see the major arcana cards. For me in my readings, it's telling me that whatever you're dealing with at that time is directly connected to something you came here to experience, something you came here to master. So in essence, you can't fail as long as you keep moving, right? Your angels and guides are going to be around you around these times of transitions or these new chapters, helping you in what you came here to learn, what you came here to conquer. Now, the Hierophant traditionally can have meanings in terms of like marriage, commitment, right? And this could be something that some of you are making a priority or making your main focus, or something that you're manifesting in January. But going deeper here, okay, if you have a Taurus placement, there can be big changes happening for you in those houses or that area of your life. The Hierophant for me also in my readings is going to come up when you have to make some big decisions, and Spirit is reminding you to make your decisions based on your beliefs, based on your values, okay? To make your decisions based on your ethics and morals versus making fear-based decisions. If you're feeling really discouraged and you're going into 2022 and you're like, dear God, please, I hope that this is the year that I meet some decent people. I hope this is the year that I make some decent friends or meet soul family, or, you know, find a worthy partner. You know, if you've been dealing with a lot of slimy people and it's discouraged you, and you're hoping that coming into 2022 it'll be deeper, or even within work, like you're hoping for meaningful work, or you're hoping to find ethical work, you know, the Hierophant is going to tell us that as you start taking steps and doing things directed to what you came here to experience, what you came, like, I'm sorry, let me take a step back here. Once you start taking steps based on what you believe in, like what your priorities are, and making decisions and getting involved in things that you see to be of purpose, of value, you're going to start to automatically align with people who share your beliefs, who share your values, who share your morals. And these are going to be solid friendships and solid relationships because you have a strong foundation, right? Whatever it might be, because it's built upon what you believe, what you feel, what you think in your heart. So to have the Hierophant as your first card, it's telling us, Cancer, keep in mind this is a general reading, but for the Cancer general collective out there, you guys are starting off the year strong. This is good. This is positive. The next card coming up here for Cancer is the Knight of Pentacles. We just talked about commitment, and I don't know any knight that's more committed than the Knight of Pentacles. If you're learning tarot, you may have even encountered that. A lot of tarot guidebooks and tarot teachers and tarot decks will use commitment as one of the keywords for the Knight of Pentacles, because that's one of the things he represents. Now, keep in mind, the Knight of Pentacles is not the fastest moving knight in the tarot, but he is the most dependable. What he does, what he builds, it is long lasting. You can count on it. You could even bet on it. I do feel, Cancer, that having the Hierophant followed by the Knight of Pentacles, it gives me a sense that a lot of you are coming into a major commitment in 2022. So maybe you're committing to change something about your life. Maybe you're committing to getting out of debt. Maybe you're committing to starting a business and not giving up on it at this time around. Maybe you're committing to finishing school. Maybe you're committing to a relationship or a family obligation. But you're coming into the year making a commitment that I'm going to do this. I'm going to accomplish this. And for some of you, maybe you've tried in the past and you've gotten distracted or you couldn't stick to it. And you're coming into it this time where you're like, I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to stick to it. Knight of Pentacles wants you to know you're going to be successful this time as long as you're consistent. Consistency is going to be the key to your success. You don't have to be extra. You don't have to hustle. You don't have to burn the candle at both ends. You don't have to be extreme or excessive in how you're approaching this commitment, right? All you need to do is be consistent every single day. You wake up one day at a time, one foot in front of the other, step by step. And before you know it, you look back, you turn and look behind you, and you're like, whoa, I have come so far. I've covered a lot of ground. When did that even happen? It feels like it happened out of nowhere. But really, it's just that you've been consistent. So in February, it's going to be important for you, Cancers, to make sure that you're not getting distracted or you're not falling into the temptation of, shaking things up or changing things up because you want to try to have a faster result. The key to your success is going to be consistency, commitment and consistency. I also feel that for a lot of you, you are attracting commitment and consistency in your life. You are done with flaky people. You are done with flaky situations. People who tell you one thing, but then they're nowhere to be found. Whether it's family, whether it's friends, whether it's love, you are calling in dependable energy, dependable situations, things that you can actually count on. Some of you who are doing something in terms of business, independent employment, self-employment, you may be pulling in some kind of work as like a consistency or as like a stability to have consistent income, to take the pressure off of the work that you're doing so that you can allow it to grow. You can enjoy it and let it grow and take your time with it instead of, being freaked out. Like, oh, I got to hurry up. I got to get in this many more sales or this many more clients, or I'm not going to be able to pay rent. Like, to take that pressure off of it. And you will be surprised that when you take the pressure off of it and you go into it out of the element of joy, how quickly it ends up growing when there's no pressure on it. The next card coming up here for Cancer for March is the Death card. Now, some of you could be dealing with a Scorpio energy. There could be, if you have a Scorpio placement, again, there could be big changes and transformations happening for you in those houses or those areas of your life. Now, for me, the Death card can a lot of the times come up to indicate that whatever change is happening for you in March, or whatever steps you're taking, whatever path you're taking, this is it. You're not going to go back to the old path, right? I've seen the death card come up for people to say that you're making a permanent career change and you're never going back to that career again. Or you're going to become self-employed and you're never going to go back to working for somebody else again, right? It could be the ending of a relationship for some of you. If that's the case, I would say you already know right now. You would already see it coming well in advance. It wouldn't be like a surprise, like everything is great and then all of a sudden in March, surprise. No, like you would already know, because not only does the death card signify an ending, it's kind of like a natural ending, right? Like you might have family members that are growing old and you might not know exactly when they're going to pass away, but you know, oh my gosh, they're getting close, right? Because it's the natural cycle of life. So to me, this is an end that you already see coming. You know it's coming. It's coming as a part of like a natural cycle. You know this cycle or this chapter is coming to a close for you, and you might not be sure when. It's coming to a close for you in March of 2022. This can also indicate ego death. So I want you to try to remember this, because if you don't, some of you are going to be freaking out a little bit in March. When ego death happens, we start to shed the conditioning and the programming, right? We're all kind of taught to be a certain way, or, you know, like, oh, you're too much this way, or you're not enough that way. Why can't you be more like your brother? Why can't you be more like your sister? Why can't you be more like the neighbor's kid? You know, like whatever it is, like we're kind of conditioned or we're taught to be a certain way. When ego death happens, we start to shake all of that off. And the authentic self, like who you are on soul level, who you were born as before all the programming happened, before all the conditioning happened, that soul level you, that authentic you starts to come to the surface. So the things that we were taught to like, or the things that we were taught to value, it starts to fall away. And in the beginning, we're like, dude, am I depressed? Like, what's going on? I don't like my friends anymore. I don't like being around them. It's kind of irritating or draining. I don't enjoy their company. I don't like the music that I used to like listening to. I don't like the TV shows or the movies I used to like. You might not even like the same foods and the things you were eating. You're like, nothing is bringing me joy. I'm not happy with any of this stuff. And so you might be feeling a little bit like, have I lost joy for life? Am I ever going to be happy again? You are, but you're having to get to know yourself from scratch. Because a lot of the people you were hanging out with because you thought that you're supposed to like those kind of people, or you're supposed to be in that kind of a group, or you were supposed to be working that kind of a job. And now you're realizing, but this isn't me. So the way that you're going to get out of it is to give yourself permission to explore, to taste, to touch, to sample all that life has to offer, and get to know yourself. Do I like this? Do I not like this? A lot of you are going to be seeing talents and gifts and abilities emerge that you didn't even know existed. You're like, whoa, I'm actually a really good artist. Or, hey, you know what? I'm actually really good at analyzing things scientifically. I'm really good at, you know, numbers and theories. And like you start to realize gifts and talents that you didn't know were there, whatever they might be, whatever area or subject they might be in. So shifting and changing in this way for a lot of you guys. April 2022. We have the Two of Pentacles. And the Two of Pentacles can be where, again, we talked about the ego death. So as you come into April, you might be feeling overwhelmed. You might be feeling like things aren't fun. You might be feeling like a lot of things are obligation, necessity, right? Work might feel kind of grueling. Two of Pentacles can also come up when we're feeling embarrassed about a situation, we feel like people are judging us, or they don't think that we're doing a good job, and we kind of get stuck inside of our head, and we're criticizing ourselves and feeling like embarrassed about situations. So when the Two of Pentacles comes up, and this is for April, you're being asked to get outside of your head. Remind yourself you're not a mind reader. You don't know what people are thinking about you. It might not have anything to do with you at all. And try to focus on what you're enjoying about that task at hand in that moment. Because this Death card tells us a lot of you are getting ready to make a massive change. And as you're coming into April, taking the steps to make the changes, some of you are feeling really overwhelmed. Like this is a lot to process. This is a lot to handle. What if I fail? What if I fall on my face? What if people don't believe in me that this is a good change for me? And we might begin to feel overburdened and stressed out and not looking forward to the change or to the transition or to the work that needs to be done. So just, again, remember that Knight of Pentacles energy, one step at a time, step by step, and try to pay attention to a sense of accomplishment or a sense of what you like about it. Some of you have gone into a field that you really loved. Maybe you really loved helping people. You really loved being in the medical field, or you really loved doing something artistic or creative, and you got to make a career out of doing creative work, or you got to make a career out of cooking. You loved cooking, and now you're like so overwhelmed. You hate it. It's taking away the joy. Some of you are having to find the joy again, reminding yourself of why you did this to begin with, why you got into this to begin with. Okay? And some of you are transitioning out of it into the next chapter, and this is feeling overwhelmed. Again, try to bring in a sense of fun. Try to adjust the way you're looking at the situation, the way that you're looking at yourself. If you're getting really caught up in the fear and the worry and the anxiety and, feeling silly, you can always ask Archangel Jophiel for help. Archangel Jophiel, thank you for helping me to see myself as heaven sees me. Thank you for helping me love myself as heaven loves me. Thank you for helping me see others as heaven sees them, to love others as heaven sees them, or loves them. Thank you for helping me to see the beauty in my life, the beauty in my everyday surroundings, the beauty in my everyday experiences. Thank you for continuing to bring beauty and positivity into my life. This can be very helpful for a lot of you as you're getting, rolling up your sleeves to do this work, to see these commitments and these accomplishments through while still being true to yourself and allowing yourself to embrace this new path. Let's go ahead and see what's coming up for you the next 4 months. So May, please show us May 2022 for Cancer. May 2022 for Cancer. Please show us June 2022 for Cancer. Show us July 2022 for Cancer. July, please. Oh, that doesn't feel right. That feels right. August 2022. All right. So, May, we have the Sun, another major arcana card. So even though you're feeling overwhelmed in April, by May you have success. You have recognition, positive recognition at that. You're being seen, you're being appreciated, you're being celebrated. Light is being shown down upon you, upon the situations of your life. The Sun card also has an element of true love and the opposite of codependent connections and relationships. So there's a sense of freedom when we see the Sun, a sense of accomplishment. I've succeeded. I've seen this through. I've accomplished it. I'm receiving praise. I'm receiving credit. I'm receiving positive recognition. I'm being celebrated for and loved for the person that I am. I'm being encouraged. And so we see this really positive energy in me. This time of being able to be yourself and to enjoy your life. There's a sense of happiness, a sense of playfulness. I feel especially too, because the Sun card is here, I feel that especially to a lot of you who have been really focused on any kind of inner child work and you've been struggling with it. You're like, I still don't get it. I still don't get it. I know I need to work with my inner child. I can feel my inner child in there, but I just can't figure out how to do the work with the inner child. Or I can't figure out how to connect with the inner child or to help the inner child. I feel that those of you who've been struggling with inner child work and you've been wanting to do it, there's going to be big breakthroughs for you. Big breakthroughs for you in terms of inner child work. Some of you may also be manifesting children and being around children. Maybe some of you have a grandchild that you haven't been able to spend time with, or there have been challenges and you haven't been sure how to overcome them and get through them. Or, you know, having a child, conceiving a child, adopting a child. Some of you may be manifesting time with children, or specifically children in your life in May. For June 2022, we have the Ten of Cups. And this is happiness, success, fulfillment, inner peace, joy, contentment in every single aspect of our life. Now, I know a lot of people are used to watching tarot readings because they're watching for love and romance. So for that reason, Ten of Cups has kind of gotten typecast as marriage and babies. In fact, here on the card, we see a couple with a little baby. I talked about some of you are manifesting children. That tells us, yes, some of you definitely are. Now, we have to keep in mind, though, that the deeper meaning of the Ten of Cups is, as I said, contentment, inner peace, bliss in every area of your life. And for some of you, that's marriage and babies. And some of you are manifesting that. And some of you are healing and salvaging a relationship and finally making significant progress in June, where you're like, this is it. We're through the storm. We've made it. But relationships, marriage, babies, that's not going to be every single person's happily ever after. Some people's happily ever after might be getting an RV and traveling around their country and just enjoying nature, or going and getting property away from the city and away from people and just living a nice, quiet life alone. For some people, it might be traveling. It might be doing some kind of mentoring or teaching or guiding other people, right? Everybody's happily ever after is going to be different. We don't all want the same exact thing. So when I see Ten of Cups, it's telling me that that is whatever your happily ever after is. It's also telling me that you may have struggled for a long time, where you have just had this belief of like, well, I can't have everything, right? If my personal life is great and I'm good with my family, I'm good with my friends, I'm good with my love life, then my finances suck. Then I have difficulty in career. When career is great and I'm super happy, then my family life sucks, or my friendships really suffer. And so I guess I can't have everything. Ten of Cups says, no, you can't have everything. And you're going to have everything. You're going to have contentment and fulfillment in every aspect and every area of your life. Okay? So here, let's look at July. Oh, we have Nine of Pentacles. Now, Nine of Pentacles for me is financial independence. It's also a lot of the times considered as a self-employment card. So a lot of you might be making either big changes, big accomplishments in terms of self-employment and business, where you're finally able to work for yourself and to walk away from a 9-to-5, you know, disconnect from the matrix, as it were. And maybe some of you are working a career, you are working a 9-to-5, but you're finally in a place where you're not financially dependent on anybody, or, you know, you don't have to have a roommate or live with family, or you don't have to be married or be in a relationship to be able to have a roof over your head, right? Or your financial security is not dependent upon your relationship. And so you're going to be able to be where you want to be because you don't need anybody. So wherever you're living, whoever you're dealing with, whoever you're with them because you want to be with them, not because you need them, not because you're stuck there, right? So 9 of Pentacles gives us a sense of financial independence, financial security. 9 of Pentacles can also mean that your reputation is really being exalted. Like you're in this really elevated position. People are seeing you. People are noticing you. They're talking about you positively. They may even be a little bit intimidated to approach you or talk to you because they're holding you in very high regard. Okay? Can also be secret admirer energy for some of you. Some of you are manifesting this sense of family, this sense of love, but you may be completely and totally single, but you're coming into that energy. And then 9 of Pentacles is telling us is you're starting to see that, oh, well, here's an admirer. This person is noticing me. And they might be a little bit overwhelmed. They might be seeing you as too good to be true. And they're not sure how exactly to pursue you or how to approach you. And so they're studying you to learn more about you, to figure out, okay, how can I approach Cancer and not completely, totally make a fool of myself or, you know, blow my chances? What are some things that we might have in common? What are some things that you know, Cancer might like about me? And so they might be kind of trying to figure out, you know, how to shoot their shot, so to speak, before they step up to you. I do feel that some of you are coming into a high level in your career where you're being asked to advise and teach others or to do some kind of speaking, like some kind of public speaking, some kind of lecturing, teaching, guiding, helping others kind of energy here. Maybe being seen as an expert in your field or somebody very knowledgeable. August 2022 is the 6 of Swords. This can indicate travel, getting away, being able to take a trip, being able to take a vacation. Some of you are like, oh my gosh, I haven't taken a vacation in years. And then we all got locked up for almost 2 years. And now I'm realizing how badly I want to travel. Is it ever going to happen? Am I ever going to have a chance to get out there and to see the world? Absolutely, positively. For a lot of you Cancers, there's going to be a chance for traveling in August. There could also be a relocation for some of you. If you've watched my YouTube videos in the past, some of you have heard me say that over the years reading for people, even in pulling cards for myself, I've seen it happen time and time again. Not every single time, but a lot of times. More times than I can count. I've seen the 6 of Swords come up where you're thinking of taking a trip and you might have it in your mind that, oh, well, maybe, you know, maybe I might move out there one day. But, you know, I'll just go see it. I'll just go check it out. And maybe, you know, far, far into the future, several years from now, maybe I'll go out there. Or you have a friend that moved and they're like, oh my gosh, you need to come out here. You're going to totally love it. Come visit me. You're not going to want to leave. And you're like, haha, okay, whatever. But yeah, let me go see my friend. But then what I see happen is this person goes on this trip and all of a sudden, boom, 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 pow, pow, pow. Things align, things line up back to back where an opportunity opens up for you to actually move, to actually relocate. You might have the perfect job, the perfect housing situation. You might not even need a job. Those of you who have a friend or a family member, they might say, just, forget it. Have them mail you the rest of your clothes from back home. You just stay here. You take your time. You find the job. You find out what you want to do. You find yourself, so whatever the case is, it's like things align to where moving is all of a sudden possible. And the opportunity is actually there. So some of you could be taking a trip in August where you think you're just taking a trip, but it's ending up being a very impromptu surprise relocation. This happened to me in 2021, in the year that I'm recording this reading. I just felt like I had to get out of where I was at. I just felt like this energy, like, I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. And I remembered a friend who moved to another state, to like out in the middle of nowhere. And they were like, you need to come visit. You're going to love it. That friend popped up in my mind. I'm like, let me just go visit her. I had no intention of moving. I was out there a couple of weeks, and the next thing I knew, I was signing a lease, and I was, getting a place. And I had pulled 6 of Swords before I went on the trip, and I kind of laughed about it, but I was like, I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to like up and move right now, but surprise, it happened. So this can be happening for a lot of you, where you just go on a trip and things fall into place, and all of a sudden you're relocating. Let's go ahead and see for the remainder of the year for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising, and Venus. Let's see what's happening in September. Please show us September 2022. Please show us October 2022. Please show us November 2022. Please show us December 2022. Let's get right on into it, my dears. September, October, November, December. So September, we have the 8 of Cups. Now this can be really positive, okay? 8 of Cups is going to indicate here that we kind of reach a stage where we feel like something is missing from our life. And we want to go out and we want to try to find it. Like, I'm not sure what's missing, but something is missing. And a lot of the times in my readings, I've noticed the 8 of Cups tends to come up for people who are kind of overachievers, right? These are the people that they accomplish a lot of things and they make it look really easy. And they go on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And 8 of Cups is telling us the reason why is like you think that it's going to bring you fulfillment. You think it's going to make you happy. But the happiness is very short-lived. You're like, I'm proud of myself. I'm glad that I accomplished this. I don't have any regrets. But it didn't make me feel the way that I thought it was going to make me feel. So maybe I focused on the wrong thing. Maybe I'm going to be happier when I get that next level promotion, or I hit that certain amount of salary, or maybe I'm going to be happier when I go back to school and I get that next degree, that higher degree up, or maybe I'm going to be happy when I focus on my personal life and I find the right soulmate. And that happens and you're like, yeah, but still something is missing. Maybe I need to be married. Maybe I need to have kids. It constantly becomes the next thing. Happiness constantly is like in the next goal. And so Spirit is saying that the missing piece is the spiritual connection. And until we make the spiritual connection, we're never going to be satisfied with our hard work, with the result of our hard work. We're going to always feel like something is missing, and we're going to set a new goal. So a couple of things about the 8 of Cups coming up for you in September. This tells me that whatever your goals are for 2022, whatever your resolutions are, whatever you're telling yourself you want to accomplish in 2022, I feel that as you come into August, you've done it. You've done it. You've reached your goals. You've done everything you said you wanted to do in 2022. But you're like, what now? What's next? I'm happy, but I don't feel the way that I thought I was going to feel. And so you're trying to think of like, what's missing? What can I focus on now? Spirit is saying, look, wait a minute. Before you go setting the next goal, before you go, setting these next ideas of fulfillment, take this time, take this moment, and really seriously work on the spiritual connection. Because until you work on the spiritual connection, you're not going to be happy. You're not going to be satisfied. It's always going to feel like something is missing. And some of you are like, oh, that's easy, Amethyst. I already get up in the morning, I do my yoga, or I say my prayers, or I read my Bible, or I do my mantras, my meditations, I have my crystals and my candles. You might have all those things, and you might have a spiritual routine. But that's the thing about spiritual routine. Sometimes it becomes a little too routine. And the same way that you have to work on your personal relationships to keep them interesting, to spice things up from time to time, it is the same with our spiritual practice. Because if we keep doing the same thing over and over again, and we keep saying the same thing over and over again, after time, it's like empty words. It starts to lose its meaning. It starts to lose its value. And maybe before it was very inspiring, but it becomes so routine. It becomes so like robotic. And so it's going to be a good time for you in September to think about ways in which you feel inspired, in which you feel a sense of zen, a sense of peace, a sense of awe, and set aside time to engage in those things. For some of you, it can be through music, writing, art, painting, sculpting, books, film. For some of you, it may be through being in nature, going on hikes, or incorporating nature into your home. So, filling a part of your home with plants and crystals and earth elements and rocks. For some of you, it can be being in the water, spending time with water. It can be different for different ones of you. Some of you, it can be being around children or animals, but just something that gives you a sense of zen, something that gives you a sense of peace, something that gives you a reminder of the power and the love that we're surrounded by. So changing up your spiritual practice, changing up your spiritual routine, making focus on your spiritual routine is going to set you up for, number one, being able to enjoy the fruits of your labor, being able to have true satisfaction for all the hard work that you've accomplished. And number two, continuing that path, continuing to call in and to receive more of what makes you happy, more of what you love, okay? More fulfillment, more peace, more bliss, more zen. The next card that's coming up here for you, October 2022, is the World. So as I said, big accomplishments happening for you towards the end of the year, before the winter time. And the World card, again, major arcana, new chapter, new cycle, things that you came here to accomplish. When the World card comes up, it's telling us that we've learned our lessons. We're done with the karmic cycles. We've passed the test. Now is the time for us to be seen, to be celebrated, to be acknowledged. Again, there can be a sense of travel for some of you. But for me, the World card also comes in with the sense and the feeling of being comfortable in your own skin. It's kind of like, here I am, you lucky people, take it all in, enjoy it. Some of you have been blocked in your manifesting because every time you try to daydream about your ideal life, you're daydreaming and seeing yourself in the situation as like this bizarro alternate universe version of yourself. It's like it's you, but it's the version of you that you think you're supposed to be perfect. It's your supposed perfect version of yourself. And when we try to daydream and manifest in this way, we're basically telling the universe, here's all the things that I want, but don't give it to me until I'm this person or until I'm this way. And then we program it and keep it away from ourselves without even realizing we're doing that. So realizing that there's nothing wrong with you the way that you are now. You're deserving of all of these accomplishments. You're deserving of all of these manifestations in the version of yourself that you are here and now, here today. And a lot of you are coming to that realization. And you're able to manifest because you're able to see it happening for who you are now. Not some supposedly, quote-unquote, perfect version of yourself. You're already perfect the way that you are. Now, if you do want to change things about yourself, you're like, you know what, Amethyst, thank you, that's really sweet of you, but you can't see me from behind your little camera right now. You don't know what a hot mess I am. You don't know how I need to improve. Some of you may still feel that way. That's fine. You want to go ahead and work on ways in which you feel you're improving yourself and work on self-improvement, and you want to manifest these changes in you. By all means, my darling, go ahead and daydream about it, visualize it, manifest it, but don't lump all the manifestations together to where you're telling the universe, don't give me X, Y, and Z until I look like A, B, and C. Don't do that. Visualize the things separate. Visualize separately you looking like A, B, and C. Then visualize separately you having X, Y, and Z. Okay? But again, here the World card is overcoming the challenges, coming into victory, being done with karmic cycles, freedom, travel, feeling comfortable in your own skin, receiving positive recognition. I feel like some of you might even be releasing something that's becoming a big deal. Maybe you're having a role in a movie and that movie is really taking off and people are noticing you and they're like, oh my gosh, I really loved that one character. I wish that one character was in the movie more, right? And all of a sudden people are noticing you and who is that actor or who is that actress, you know? Or you're putting something out creatively and it's really taking off. Some of you might be putting up a video or something that's going viral as well. Okay, online success, online communication, online recognition for a lot of you as well. For October, yeah, so now we're going to do November 2022. Ooh, Two of Cups, right? So we talked about how, you know, for some of you, there's definitely big improvements and successes for you in love life in 2022. In fact, Two of Cups is definitely seen as a relationship card, a soulmate card. The Two of Cups is the kind of relationship or connection where you're able to overcome obstacles peacefully, you know, peaceful resolutions to conflicts. And Two of Cups is giver meets giver, right? It's the kind of connection where each person is asking, what can I do for my partner today? How can I make my partner happy today? Each person is asking that and approaching the situation in that way, equally invested. Each person is feeding the relationship. Therefore, the relationship goes on forever, right? It doesn't end. It just, you keep feeding it. It keeps growing. It keeps thriving. Now, some of you, as I said, have zero interest in romance. So this could be partnerships. This could be collaborations. This could be friendships. But the Two of Cups is reciprocal energy, harmony, peace, receiving, giving, flow, exchange, right? And so this is the energy that many of you are going to be stepping into. Now, your next card here for December is the Page of Pentacles. Okay, pages can sometimes indicate kids or children. Some of you might be taking time with your kids or children to help them break out of generational curses around poverty, and struggling with money and finances. We know there's a lot of good news coming up for a lot of the Cancer collective here in 2022. And so one of the things that you might be doing is wanting to sit down with your kids and teach them about, you know, the habits and the ways that we become successful and what to do with our money and how to deal with our money. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying money is equal to success, right? There's a lot of different ways that we can be succeeding, and, you know, just to have a lot of money come in through a situation doesn't automatically mean success. I'm not saying that they're the same thing, but I do feel like a lot of you are wanting to spend time with your children to help them and set them up to where they understand how money works. They understand how abundance works. They understand how manifestation works and hard work works and faith and surrender. And so I feel a lot of you might be taking time to teach this to your children about how this works or how this is done. Page of Pentacles is also going to indicate for a lot of you a new undertaking. You're finding ways to be more efficient with your finances, and you're finding ways to come up with money or resources with the things that you already have to invest and start something new, to invest and start something better, okay, with what you have available to you. Some of you are going through your financial records and you're like, whoa, I'm seeing all of these ways in which I've just kind of been bleeding out money from my account and I haven't even noticed it. So let me go cancel this membership and that membership. Let me make sure that I'm, you know, cutting down on this utility bill or that utility bill by changing out this appliance or changing out this habit. I feel like a lot of you are going to create a lot more financial assets to work with, to have, just simply by looking at your habits, your spending habits, your subscriptions, you know, and you're like, wow, I feel like I got this massive raise, but really I'm just being more efficient and I'm not allowing myself to waste out or bleed out money. And you might be teaching this to some of you, to your children as well. Investing your time and your energy also in things that are going to be worthwhile for you. Some of you have been working 2 or 3 jobs and you're realizing, you know what, this is just the hamster on the wheel. I'm going to either have to, set aside time to do a little bit of studying and learn a new skill and go into a new field, or I'm going to have to get serious about my interests, my passions, my hobbies, and turn those into self-employment. And even though it might not be a second job or a third job that's bringing in a specific kind of paycheck, at least I'm putting my time and energy into something that will have long-term success instead of something temporary, something that I can't be doing forever anyway, right? So being wiser in how you're dealing with your time and your energy, okay? Gifts and talents and things that you're able to see how to make it work for yourself. Maybe some of you have an empty room that's become like a storage room or a junk room. Maybe you're clearing it out and you're renting it out, or you're doing an Airbnb situation with a property or a room that you have. Maybe you're realizing that you have gifts and talents and you have things around the house that you can start working on it, right? I used to live in Los Angeles. There was a really famous bakery out there in Southern California called Porto's. And recently they've been expanding and having a lot of different locations and employing a lot of people. Doesn't matter which one you go to, there's a line out the door. People, like, it's such a busy place. And that lady came to the United States with her family from Cuba, and she just wanted to help out and get some money for bills. And she just started baking in the neighborhood, you know, selling to her neighbors, advertising to her neighbors. And next thing you know, word of mouth, oh, you know, such and such block, such and such street, there's a lady that makes amazing cakes, amazing pastries. And cars started coming looking for the house. Hey, where's the cake lady? Where's the cake lady? To the point where she ended up having to open up a bakery right? And over the years it expanded. And it was with what she had, right? She was a good baker. She had some flour, she had some sugar, she had some eggs, she had some oil, she had some milk, and that turned into a chain of bakeries, right? So you might not be a bakery. You might have another talent or gift. You might be an amazing handyman. You might be an amazing woodworker, or somebody who'd be really good at remodeling or designing, or an artist or a photographer or a writer or a singer or whatever it might be. But you're seeing that you have things around you that you can start investing into income, investing into something that you're able to do for yourself, or branching out in an existing business or self-employment. All right, this is a general reading. Keep this in mind. This might not be the case for every single one of you. There may be variations. You may want to watch your moon sign, your rising sign, your Venus sign for some of you, because that might add a little extra information more specific to your energetic makeup and your energetic placements. You may need a private reading, which I'm more than happy to do for you. If you go to calendly.com/amethystangelite, you can schedule a private reading with me there. I've been a little inconsistent towards the end of the 2021 calendar year in the weekly forecasts. Guys, I've had the devil come for me this year hard. I've been dealing with a lot of stuff, but thankfully, thank God, it's starting to balance out again and calm down again. So coming into 2022, the weekly forecast will be consistent again. So don't forget to watch the weekly forecasts. Don't forget to watch the monthly love readings. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. Have a wonderful 2022, my dears. Take care.